So friends, we are back. What we have seen so far is Swamy Vivekananda. It looks like he was not aware of what actually Hinduism is. Most of the time, if you see, there are contradictory statements which he was making. And why he was making? Because he has a mindset that there is a kind of a Hinduism which he wanted to propagate without understanding the meaning of the Vedas. We have already seen about his guru and what his guru Ramakrishna Paramahans did. He went into the body of a dog astrally and he had beef. So that is the kind of guru that Vivekananda ji had. Other thing which we have seen, Swamy Vivekananda never thought of fighting against the social evil which are prevalent in the society. With references and with proof, I have mentioned in this PowerPoint presentation that he never cared about the child marriage. On the contrary, if you see, he was propagating the child marriage. Now can you ever think about a Swami who, rather than fighting the social injustice or social evils prevalent in the society, is asking his followers to remain away from such kind of evil? Apart from that, let's come back to the patriotism of Swamy Vivekananda. As I have already shown you in this presentation, with reference, with page number, any of the listener or viewer, they can go back and they can check the different volumes of Swamy Vivekananda. If you look in Hindi or in English volume, there might be a difference on the page numbers. But definitely you are going to find the statements which are presented here. Coming back to the independence from British rule. When I was a great follower or a staunch supporter of Swamy Vivekananda, I used to think he is a great patriotic person. But soon I realized, when I studied about him in his 7 volumes, in the letters of Swamy Vivekananda, that things are a bit different. The way he made the contradictory statements, they were really perplexing for me. It really bewildered my mind, like what is going on? And till date, I was not able to understand what he basically wanted to communicate. Because at one side of the coin, you see things are very positive. On the contrary, on the other side, you see things which are totally opposite of what he mentioned. Coming to Swamiji never wanted or sought independence from British rule. In his mind, the threat of British subjugation is visualized in terms of its moral effect rather than its political consequences. Freedom in his vocabulary. I want you to read this. Freedom in his vocabulary is not secular political freedom. What he was communicating is a freedom of soul. I think that's where most of us have misunderstood what he wanted to communicate. Is it a freedom from British slavery, or is he talking about the spiritual freedom? But the spiritual personal liberation from the bonds of ignorance. Swamy Vivekananda, a case study of the Hindu religion tradition and the modern secular idol, Krishna Prasad Gupta, page 263-290 and page 272 for reference. Actually, when one of its distinguished members, Sister Nivedita, I think most of us we know Sister Nivedita, she wanted to join the national movement at that time. She was given a warning notice and asked to quit the mission work. This is really beyond my comprehension, at least, that every time when any of the ministers of India, they go to other country or they go in any function, they always praise Swamy Vivekananda, portraying him as an icon of Hinduism, portraying him as an idol who was really a great patriotic person. Now can you ever imagine someone from the organization want to join a national movement who is fighting for the struggle against British? But Swamy Vivekananda is saying you will be removed from the organization. This was in pursuance of a deliberate policy of operating strictly on non-political level between the secular attainment of freedom and the non-secular realization of liberation. There was hardly any choice. Page 273. Vivekananda said, "It has ever been my conviction that we shall not be able to rise unless the Western countries come to our help. In India, no appreciation of merit can be found, no financial support." Read his biography, page number 255. I have already explained you in the previous presentation. Swamiji says the women of America are of high moral character. They are of great character. We cannot have such women in India. Really, those who are listening to me, I ask you, do you really think so? Just forget about Swamy Vivekananda and the love that we have for him in our heart, which has come over a span of years. Even I have that respect for him when I am delivering this presentation. Get aloof from that thought, and I ask you this question. Are the women of our nation, India, that is Bharat, or Bharat, that is India, they are not of high moral character? I don't think so. Though Vivekananda sometimes appears, and no doubt inducted to appear as having come from India with a message for the West. It looks like, yes, he came with a message to the West. There are indications that some features of his message were developed during his first Western tour. And the reading of the Sanskrit tradition was modified in the light of ideas picked up in the West. So Swamiji was greatly influenced by the Western thought process once he reached the other side of the world. Read Yoga Sutra 423 and Vivekananda